think you know a genre called mukbang. It's a video format where a person eats large portions of food in front of the camera while interacting with the audience. And today, I will tell you about the shocking, heartbreaking, and tragic story of the famous South Korean YouTuber Park Jong-won, better known by her nickname Tzuyang. She has more than 10 million subscribers, and her videos get millions of views. Her difficult path to fame, success, and recognition has been much more difficult than one could even imagine. Tzuyang became popular thanks to her unique mukbang videos, in which she not only talks about cooking with extraordinary sincerity and warmth, but also shares important personal moments of her life, attracting the attention of millions of viewers. She has over 10 million followers, and her videos have garnered millions of views. However, behind the scenes of this outward success was a dark and hard reality. Tzuyang recently opened up about the struggles and tragedies she's endured. For 4 long years, she was physically and mentally abused, blackmailed, and financially exploited by her ex-boyfriend. These revelations shocked not only her many fans, but also the entire South Korean society. This story was a vivid example that even strong, successful people, in the public eye of millions, can face a truly horrific reality. Tzuyang's story is not only a tale of pain, but also of incredible resilience and fortitude that inspires and leaves an indelible mark on the hearts of all who learned of her plight. In this video, we discuss who Tzuyang is, what she went through, and how her revelations can serve as an inspiration to others, helping them find the courage and determination to fight for their rights and freedom. Park Jong-won, known on YouTube as Tzuyang, is not only a popular YouTuber, but also an active philanthropist. Through her activities, she has earned respect not only for her videos in the mukbang genre, but also for her work in social responsibility. In 2019, she was named a Goodwill Ambassador for her contribution to volunteerism. She donated 10 million won to veterans. And recently, celebrating reaching 10 million subscribers, she donated 200 million won to the World Vision charity organization. In addition, Park Jong-won actively participates in outreach programs by personally delivering food to children in need, setting an example of true caring and responsibility. Her sincerity and efforts have made her not only popular, but also a respected personality among those who know of her work outside of YouTube. And here no one, including me, would have thought that a YouTube vlogger admired by millions, who always looked joyful and happy in her videos, helping others and giving back to the community, would have hidden such a dark secret for so many years. However, at the same time, I realize how crushed and helpless she must have felt, hiding this part of her life from the public, and how much she didn't want all these dark secrets to ever come out. On July 10th, it was revealed that Tzuyang had been extorted by several male YouTubers, a group of other Korean YouTube bloggers, known as cyber-righteous. Cyber-righteous bloggers are bloggers who sort of expose others by playing on the public's sense of justice. But in fact, they engage in vigilante justice, instill their point of view in the audience, and make those they expose look worse. And that's not the main problem. The main problem is that some of these cyber-righteous people are using their influence for financial gain. Their influence for financial gain behind the scenes, as shown in our heroine's case. According to the Grochero Research Institute, YouTube channel creators Hwang Cheol-sun, Gujuk, Jongkook Jin, Crocodile, Gango, Karakula, and Aom Tae-woon were involved. The voice recording revealed that Gujuk and Jongkook Jin planned to extort money from Tzuyang by revealing her past. Supposedly, they were going to reveal that she worked as an adult hostess and was a bully during her high school years. They were also planning to reveal the fact that Tzuyang lived with the CEO of her company. As they talked, they considered how to exploit her vulnerability at the moment and how to scrape together more money. They even suggested asking for at least 200 million won. So you can see what these righteous people are all about, right? She had to endure years of abuse without anyone knowing about it. And then one day, everything changed. But July 11th, 2024, Tzuyang had an early morning broadcast that shocked her audience. And she endured 4 years of relationship abuse, extortion, and threats from him. She described that period of her life as just hell. The story I'm telling today shows how elusive and complicated the paths of justice can be. Crimes in Korea sometimes seem fictionalized by screenwriters, but they are very real. She spoke candidly about 4 years of domestic abuse and exploitation at the hands of her ex-boyfriend. Her lawyers were present on the air and provided evidence, photos of injuries, audio recordings of the assaults, and other materials. The story began when they met at university. At first, everything seemed normal, but over time, the relationship began to turn into hell. The ex-boyfriend became violent, beating Tzuyang even with objects such as umbrellas. When she tried to break up with him, he threatened to publish compromising videos taken without her consent. Tzuyang was also financially exploited. Her ex forced her to work in a bar, taking all her earnings. She later went into radio broadcasting and mukbang, but even in this field, he continued to control her life. He forced her to sign a contract where he received 70% of her earnings, leaving her with no profit from advertising. The broadcast schedule, too, was dictated by him. Any attempt to resist resulted in threats and more violence. Even the employees of the company Tzuyang worked with tried to help, but she feared for their safety. Her ex defaced equipment, threatened her co-workers, and even used violence in front of them. During her streams, viewers often noticed bruises on her arms, and it must be said that some subscribers expressed concern about it. However, she always brushed off these questions. They say that she is just clumsy herself and often bumps into things. And people believed her. Tzuyang's attempts to free herself from tyranny were not successful. He continued to harass her, threatening her and her family. In desperation, she offered him all her savings to leave, but he refused, claiming that her success was his due. Jungwon was in a state of endless fear and helpless because of the constant manipulation. And all the harm that was initially directed at her began to affect her co-workers and just those around her. Jungwon's lawyer said that as a criminal lawyer who handles many cases, including those involving public figures, he was shocked at the level of cruelty in this case. The lawyer also calculated how much total money was paid to her boyfriend during this time. Do you know how much? 4 billion won. Jungwon felt that she couldn't just get out of this contract, but she still decided to seek legal counseling because she wanted to change these extremely unfair terms. The initial consultation was anonymous, so the counselors did not know that the clients were Oh Jin-won. After the lawyer reviewed the contract, they found it extremely unfavorable to the girl, which is generally rare in the industry. When they found out that the clients were Oh Jin-won and heard her story, they began to speculate about everything. In the end, the lawyer said they filed a criminal complaint against her ex-boyfriend for systematic attacks and threats, and also filed a lawsuit for damages for 4 billion won stolen from her YouTube earnings, and demanded the termination of that exclusive contract. Explaining why she decided to sue now, the girl said that he wrote threats to her, came to her home, and even contacted her employees, threatening to kill their families. And basically, she couldn't take it anymore. The girl said in her video that she was used to the beatings and threats, but her employees were like family to her, so this was the last straw. Jungwon ended up filing both civil and criminal lawsuits against her ex-boyfriend. They entered into a settlement agreement in the civil case, in which some of the money was returned, and the contract was terminated. The lawyer also revealed details of the case, saying that Jungwon was not only physically abused, but sexually abused as well. And so all of what you've just heard up to this point is just a small part of her story, and it's not even the toughest. The case ended when her ex-boyfriend zeroed in, which led to a dismissal of the criminal charges due to his death. So her young man didn't even find the courage to face the consequences of his actions. As for Jungwon's current condition, her lawyer said that the girl often feels devastated after streamings, and even her lawyers are having a hard time keeping in touch with her. It's likely that the huge public attention has become a heavy burden for her. After all, she has endured 4 years of violence, threats, and blackmail, and now this. Now, a few words about how the law protects victims in South Korea. In theory, illegal filming and using such videos for blackmail are serious crimes with heavy penalties. After Tzuyang told her story, 2 YouTubers involved in the situation released statements to respond to her accusations. Gujuk released a video on his YouTube channel where he apologized to Tzuyang for not protecting her rights and hurting her. He admitted that he was aware of her past and actively participated in investigations and gave statements to law enforcement. However, he categorically denied the allegations of extorting money from Tzuyang. Karakula, on the other hand, has taken a more defensive stance. In his YouTube statement, he emphasized that he never received dirty money, considering it his main pride as a blogger. He stated that he would soon provide proof of his innocence, but did not apologize. How the audience will take their statements and how the story will unfold further remains in question. The point here is that no matter how famous and influential a girl is in South Korea, she is, after all, a girl who lives in a conservative society. In South Korea, illegal filming and blackmail are officially considered serious offenses with severe penalties. However, in practice, the situation is far from ideal. Many perpetrators escape prosecution because of insufficient law enforcement or difficulty in gathering evidence. Victims are often afraid to go to the police, as the threat of video distribution continues to hang over them. In addition, public opinion is sometimes an additional barrier. Victims fear that they will be blamed for provoking the situation. These problems underscore the need for reforms that will not only increase accountability for perpetrators, but also provide protection and support for victims. Following Jungwon's revelations, her story shocked the public. The number of followers on her channel has skyrocketed, and thousands of words of support have appeared in the comments. People have expressed sympathy and admiration for her courage in sharing her experience. Jungwon is now striving to recover and move on with her life, inspiring others to fight for themselves and not be silent in the face of violence. Her story was an important reminder of the importance of supporting victims and creating a safe society. In South Korea, illegal filming and blackmail are officially considered serious offenses with severe penalties. However, in practice, the situation is far from ideal. Many perpetrators escape prosecution because of insufficient law enforcement or difficulty in gathering evidence. Victims are often afraid to go to the police, as the threat of video distribution continues to hang over them. In addition, public opinion is sometimes an additional barrier. Victims fear that they will be blamed for provoking the situation. These problems underscore the need for reforms that will not only increase accountability for perpetrators, but also provide protection and support for victims. Park Jungwon's story is a vivid example of how even celebrities can be victims of violence and blackmail, hiding their suffering for years. Her courageous confession has been an inspiration to others, sparked a wave of support, and given hope to those who are also afraid to speak up. If you want to learn more about these stories or discuss important topics, subscribe to my YouTube channel.